Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining today's webinar with VoIP Supply in conjunction with our parent company, Sangoma. Today, we do have a special guest with us, Steve Brand. He's an open source account manager with Sangoma, and we'll be speaking about hospitality solutions focused on around PBXact. How's it going today, Steve?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, doing well, doing well.
Awesome.
Excited to go through the presentation today. So thank you. I know you're a very busy guy, so thanks for making some time for us.
Not a problem.
And those of you who do not know, VoIP Supply has been around since 2002. I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to be with VoIP Supply for 16 of those years. So we service over 125,000 customers now. We do have a device as a service rental program on all of our devices. We can provision and blind ship direct to your end users for you guys. Okay. We also are master agents. So if you guys want to sell SipStation and PBXact Cloud, VoIP Supply can get you industry-leading payouts on all of that MRR and help you guys build that book of business as well. Fulfillment, we can hold private stock and do that blind shipment and full provisioning, even of PBXs, directly to your customers. So feel free to ask me questions about that on our one-on-ones. I'll reach out to all of you guys as well. And then, of course, if there's any old Polycom phones or GrandStream phones or some Clearly IP phones that you guys want to get out of there, feel free to contact VoIP Supply. We can get you money for that stock and put that towards your Sangoma and PBXact purchases. But without further ado, Steve, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, no problem. Again, my name is Stephen Brand, and I am an open source account manager here at Sangoma. I started working for E4 back in, let's see, it was 2016, I believe. I've been here for almost 8 years, and we got acquired by Sangoma about 2 years ago. And we've been switched over to the open source sales division, and we've been just pushing along and making sure everything is running as expected. So today's agenda, I am going to be covering PBXact, the different flavors of PBXact that are available, our hospitality solutions, which is split into two sections, the Sangoma Property Manager module and the Oracle Connector module. And then we will end with the Q&A session. So starting off, I'm going to go over the differences between Freepbx and PBXact. For those of you who might not be aware, they are both based on the same open source software. They are running the same operating system, which currently is a forked version of CentOS 7. We control all the packages that are being pushed out for updates so that there's nothing going to be interfering with your PBX's performance. It runs the same software stack. Both Freepbx and PBXact have the Asterisk core installed, as well as the Freepbx web GUI. They'll have the same databases, CDR, Asterisk configs. All of that is going to be identical. They are both software products. You don't need a specific piece of hardware to be able to utilize Freepbx or PBXact. Freepbx allows for unlimited extensions, but because of the way we license PBXact, we do license specific numbers of extensions on PBXact. 90% of the available commercial modules on Freepbx come included by default with PBXact. And PBXact has the more proven version of the framework and modules. It's a more rigorous QA process. We make sure that there's no bugs or issues with the latest updates that are available before we release them to the general PBXact public. A situation where you wouldn't want to be on the bleeding edge would be, say on Freepbx, you can set it to edge mode accidentally and have an issue with one of the new module updates that will ruin your production system's IVRs, let's say. And we don't want that happening, so we test and control those updates. Here's a quick list of some of the commercial modules that are included with PBXact. CRM Link. It allows you to tap into your customer relationship management software using screen pops and a couple of other bits and bobs. Class of service is going to allow you to get more granular control over what internal extensions can dial. Call recording reports gets you a centralized location where you can view your settings and associated call recordings. Conference Pro unlocks some more features and functionality with your conferences. We have extension routing. Fax Pro lets you fax out using the user control panel, as well as configure some different inbound settings for faxing. Park Pro and Page Pro, a lot of people will use this in tandem to set up a scenario where it's a line that someone gets transferred to, and it'll take a certain group of extensions off hook to inform them that, hey, you have a line to call, please pick that up. System Admin Pro is a huge asset to administrators. A litany of different tools available, like packet captures, dynamic DNS, email setup, all from a single convenient module. We have the Sangoma soft phones that are included. This licenses you for both the desktop as well as the mobile soft phones. We have voicemail notify, which is good for a emergency responders kind of situation where you have after hours support. If someone leaves a voicemail in a specific mailbox, you can have a call out to different numbers, play them the message and ask them to accept it. So definitely good for people who have, say, after hours support clients who might be going down at late hours of the day. Voicemail reports is a centralized location similar to call recording reports where you can see your usage and settings all from one spot. And then the endpoint manager, which comes free with our S, D, and P series phones. It allows for a provisioning and streamlined configuration. Moving on to the different methods and flavors of PBXact. The first one I'll cover is going to be the hardware. We have annual support maintenance and contracts with this. It's the only officially supported version of a system that we have for PBXact. The systems are going to be spec'd out between 25 and 2,000 users. We've tested to make sure that these systems can handle each user count. So a 1,000 will be able to handle 1,000 extensions being used at a time. This is available to Sangoma partners as well as end users. For those of you who aren't aware, we have a partner program here at Sangoma. You can get discounts across the board, and you can still do business with VoIP Supply, and they can pass along your corresponding discounts, as well as having access to different Sangoma University and NFR kits. The hardware itself comes pre-installed with PBXact, so you don't have to worry about taking a USB flash drive, installing the ISO, things like that. It's all set up for you ahead of time. The software only license is going to be perpetual or software as a service, and it's per user. You can convert your existing free PBX to a PBXact using our conversion utility. We also have annual support and maintenance options for this. Gold and Platinum are the two different versions. They give you different SLAs. The Gold is for 9 to 5 business support with guaranteed response times, and Platinum is going to add the 24/7 option with even better guaranteed response times. Just like the hardware, this is going to be available for both Sangoma partners and end users. You can install this on your own hardware that you have on site, or you can put it in a virtual machine on the internet. One option that we have for the people who say don't have hardware on site or virtual machine access is going to be PBXact Cloud. This is entirely hosted and managed by us. It's a monthly per extension license. You can use a migration tool to go from your existing premise setup to the cloud. This is available to the Sangoma certified partners and end user agents. It's fully automated. So if you have a customer coming to you at 1 in the morning saying they need a system, you don't have to call us. We don't have to intervene in this. You can go to the site, check out, it'll provision your system. You can log in and get started. It's pay as you grow. So if you start off with a little mom and pop shop of 5 people and they expand to 15 locations with 50 each, you can add users as you need them. And this is a marriage of SipStation and PBXact. You have to be using the SipStation product on this platform. If you want any more information about our SipStation trunking outside of PBXact Cloud, you can feel free to reach out to us and we get you that info. we'll have our contact info at the end of these slides. So for a pricing perspective, the perpetual license is going to be $450 per deployment base fee, and then $8 per user. And this is going to be a one-time cost. You buy it, you own it. There's no annual renewals or anything like that. You can continue to use it as long as you'd like. We do have optional support contracts. The platinum version with the 24/7 SLA is priced at $3 per user per year. And if you have an existing free PBX and don't want to be taking it out to replace it with a PBXact, you can convert your existing into a PBXact without having to change any installation or anything like that. There's a conversion tool in the portal. It'll ask you how many users you need and give you the pricing, check out, and in about 5 minutes, the updated licensing should be available and you're good to go there. And it's the same pricing as a fresh install, so you're not missing out on any discounts by going with the conversion versus a new one. Some of the benefits of PBXact Cloud are definitely going to be the flexible licensing. It's concurrency based, so each full extension comes with a call concurrency and a user. If you have 15 users and only 5 of them are going to need a full concurrent call, you don't have to pay for full extensions for each one. You can use light extensions, so it'll be reducing your overall monthly expenditure on your system. And when you need more, you can add more. Support entitlement comes with it with our Sangoma Tech team here. Both you and your end users can get full GUI access to the PBX. You can restrict them if you'd like. If you don't want them touching it, that's fine. Or you could just have it passed off directly to Sangoma and have them do all the work for you. It is future-proof, so we don't actually allow SSH access to this system. It is all managed and updated and technical staff. Any issues with any instances that go down, we have a constant monitoring software going. The people will be informed and it'll be addressed promptly. It's choose your own phones, so you can use one of our amazing DS or P phones, or you can bring your standards-based zip endpoint and it should work perfectly fine. One thing that you should be aware of is a promo we have going on. Some customers are going to be a little hesitant about buying new phones and switching over to a new system. With this, it is a 3-year contract and a minimum of 5 trunks, but you get a free S505 with every trunk. And the price is going to be dropped down from its normal price to $15.99 per trunk, and you get 4,500 minutes per trunk per month. So it's very, very difficult to reach your current limit of minutes. There is a 5x MRR spiff. So if you are in the industry of trying to get your customers SIP service, your MSP trying to expand into our partner program, we give you 5 times the monthly recurring cost up front if you're using this promo, and you'll get evergreen commissions as well for the life of that contract. And you don't have to support it or anything like that. It'll be going directly through us using a master agent format. We'll be covering our hospitality solutions now, starting with the first module of property management. There is a customized dashboard available in the user control panel where you can manage reservations, check-ins and checkouts, room transferring. You can set up wake-up calls, minibar stocking options, billing, and reporting, all from that single interface. It is a standalone module, so if you don't have a property management system in place, you can use this. However, if you're using one of the more popular Oracle systems, we do have our Oracle connection module. This does require the Sangoma property management module, but it integrates your PBX with your existing Oracle setup. You can schedule wake-up calls. You can change the status of the rooms. You can send messages to the guests. The guests can send messages to you. They can consult their current billing status, and they can check out and pay directly from their interface. So the Oracle module will automate the process once a guest checks in. It'll send the info to the PMS. The PMS will send the info to the PBX. If you have calling allowed on that system, the class of service will enable calls and they'll be set to go for their room phone. And then the interactions between that phone and the guest activities are going to be synchronized between the PMS and the PBX. Here's a little infographic, a couple of different features I covered that will be going from the system to the PBXact. And then call accounting, room status, minibar, and notifications will be coming from the PBXact and sent to the PMS system. If you are in a situation where a customer has an existing analog phone setup and they are not willing to switch over to SIP, you do have the option to use one of our Vega gateways. Our 3050G supports up to 50 FXS ports, and our Vega 60 goes all the way down to 4. So it's a rather flexible option for people who don't have the budget, I suppose, to swap out to new existing SIP phones. Speaking of the SIP phones, there is a special phone app integration for our S phones where you can hit a button to bring up your room information. You can see any messages that have been sent to you. You can change your current room status. The option to view your current bill is there as well. And you also have the option to check out directly from that app. You can send out your messages to the housekeeping or the front desk, and all of that is from your S505 or any other of the Sangoma phones that support the phone apps. If you are going with the analog phones, you still have the option to give them that functionality. You can utilize user control panel. It gives you the same options except through a web interface. You don't have to go replacing phones if you don't need to. This is going to be the color coding for the different statuses of the rooms. Each one has its own unique coloring, and here's a little real world example where it shows you what the status is, and it will give you any of the extra details that you need at that bottom left section. So for the pricing part of it, it is going to be $95 base per PBX, and then $5 per room. If you're a partner, you get discounts for that. And as long as your PBXact support contract is active, you have support for the Oracle Connector module. The on-premise solutions are going to be a different pricing. It's all going to be based on the size. Like I said, it goes from the 25 to the 2000. It's all going to be based on how many rooms are totally available on that, and that's predetermined. So it's going to be a flat rate for those. And just a quick recap there, PBXact, it's got a more QA'd, more secure set of system and module updates, and it is required for the Oracle connector. I will stress that this is not available for free PBX. And PBXact Cloud fully supports the Oracle connector module as well, if you're interested in that. The Sangoma Property Manager, it is a standalone module if you don't have an existing PMS system in place, and it is required for the Oracle connector module. Lastly, the Oracle connector module, you must have PBXact to use it, and it will integrate your PBXact with your Oracle system. We do have the option for remote installation in case you either don't want to be part of the setup or want a full hands-on experience so you can learn it for the future. Both scenarios apply to that remote installation, and you will get ongoing support as long as you have your support contract continued to be renewed. So we'll go ahead and switch over to the Q&A.
Question regarding endpoints. Can you use third-party endpoints with this module?
If
I guess with PBXact, yeah.
If you're referring to the Oracle module, if the phone supports the phone apps, then you can use it with the special button that allows you to have access to the different options. If you're referring to PBXact Cloud, we do have the third-party phones module that's available for provisioning. Otherwise, if you're not looking for provisioning, there's nothing that prevents you from using any third-party phones.
Perfect. And we can send a link to the third-party phones that Endpoint Manager does support with the third-party module as well. Perfect. And that's about it. Any other last-minute questions at the end from anyone? Again, you know, if there's anything that comes up, I could pick it up with you guys on one-on-ones. I will reach out to all of the attendees after this, so I greatly appreciate it. Steve, do you have anything else that you'd like to add as well?
If you still see my screen, this is our contact infos. So if you ever have any questions about, you know, setup or anything like that, if you're interested in the partner program, you can still do business with VoIP Supply directly. And if you need anything, just feel free to reach out and we'll be here to help.
Absolutely. Steve, thank you so much for your time and all of the attendees. We know your time's very valuable as well, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your days and sharing that with us.
Not a problem. I'm glad to help.
All right. Take care, everyone.